This is 80, it's gonna be about 81 acres. It's in Muskingum County. I know there's big deer here, I just know it. And I am jacked to get Ben here today and start putting an improvement plan together on what we're gonna do at this place. While we're walking, what's your initial thoughts?
Well, I saw 8 deer right there. That's a good sign. That trail right there is beat down like a path going to the Dairy Queen. This is a good area because I've been down here looking at timber over the years. Just over the hill, like I was just telling you, a few years back, 160 acres way down in there. I've been on that a bunch of times. And I know there's big deer here. I just know it. Big, old Ohio woods bucks in this general spot right here. But I love how this top access here.
I've been waiting. I have told Ben, we've been working on this farm, dude, since like what, before October probably? Yeah. I've been working on this forever. So stop 1 second. I keep telling him this field, you come to this field, you're gonna immediately know there is a plan to be had here. Because all the guy's been doing is mowing this for hay, just to keep it cut. But dude, this has got no eyesight off the county road. It's tucked up in the back of this farm technically, but it's on top. It's on top. So I've worked really hard to get legal access to this from the upper county road so that you can come in from the back. Like, do you not see 20 different ideas with this field already? Yeah. This is almost 7 acres, just this field.
100%. The one thing about this area is the terrain is definitely, there's a lot of terrain elevation changes in this part of the county. And these deer here, you know, that's why it's really important to have a top access like this, because a place that you can pull these deer up out of, because as you can see here, there's going to be some pretty severe elevation change here, which can be challenging at times for people to hunt physically and, you know, mentally and wind wise. So it's really important if you can pull these deer up out of here. It just makes it so much easier to kill them, and you're leaving that as sanctuary. You know, you can have some key rut stands and stuff in general, but a lot of times terrain like this is intimidating to some people and they're not sure how to hunt it. So some of these benches and things like that are key features to hunt, you know, during real peak movement times. But you want to save those spots for those times of year. But my guess is most of the time you're going to be able to kill those deer early here. This seems to be a farm, like just on, at least on this end of the farm, you're probably going to fill your buck tag first 3 weeks of October here.
Originally, the guy was wanting us to basically cut a road up this spine of this ridge to get to this field from the bottom, and I was like, nah, nope. So our offer was contingent on me getting access.
And the way this all works right here, this big bench here, you got another bench going right here. You get into one of these trees right here and you're blowing your scent off this ridge, and you sit here all day during, you know, pre-rut, rut time. It's hard to say what you're gonna encounter, especially if you got a food source up there that a lot of the does are hitting or coming off of during the day. Them bucks are gonna be cruising here. This will be littered with scrapes in here. Like, I would make a serious scrape trap right here. You know, and you know, have your stand in one of these trees right here, blowing your wind right off there, coming out of the west, just blowing it right in there. Like having a stand in one of these trees right here, you're gonna see deer down there that are not gonna be in your lap here. But that's where you take your black rack or your illusions grunt call. Once you see them, feel them out, see what kind of mood they're in, you probably can call that deer right up to this flat and get him killed. So it's an observatory spot. It's also a spot to catch deer moving off these benches. Like I said, I would probably pick, honestly, if I was gonna pick a tree right here, I would probably pick that small hickory and that white oak side by side right there, and I would tuck in that thing, and I would make me a scrape out here, you know, just off of that thing. You know, you could either put a overhanging branch here, use this limb here, any of these right here, and you just start making you a scrape right here. like that. Bend that branch down or tie one off one of these trees here and just kind of hold them deer right here. You start running your camera right here, put some black widow in that thing, and you'll get a lot of pictures of big bucks right here. Daylight pictures, that's key, daylight pictures. You know, a lot of people want to sit somewhere where they can see all kinds of deer up in an open. They want to be able to see things like that, but this is just kind of like, if anybody's ever watched the hunt where I killed scissors a few years ago, this is almost kind of same scenario right here. Like literally pop up from the bottom, you're on a flat with all this thickness. The only difference here, there's no cedars in this part of Ohio, but it's the same kind of situation. And as you start managing this farm and putting food up top in places, you're going to just get more and more big buck sign here and big bucks using this place, because I don't think there's ever been food put on this. Yeah, and I mean, so like what somebody has to understand is like, oh man, I'm up here and I shot that deer and it ran downhill. We'll drag it to the bottom. You know, just drag it downhill. You know, you don't have to drag it uphill. But I definitely don't think I'd be coming in here and putting a bunch of roads in. So like right here, walking this bench, we got a spring coming out of the hill right here. Got a little pool of water. You can come in here with a hand shovel instead of getting a piece of equipment up here, because I was just telling Tyler, I think instead of putting roads into spots like this, we just leave it alone. Like there's sometimes you can go in, I think you can mess things up. So you literally could walk in here, a couple guys with some hand shovels, dig this out a little bit, get this really holding water good. And man, a spot like this is key to have water this close to food, especially in wintertime. Food, you know, a water source that's not freezing up, and springs are perfect for that. I tell people all the time, they overlook those things, and because deer still got to drink water. And if the creeks or ponds are froze up, you get a little spring like that that's still trickling water, man, the deer just destroy it. This would be a great spot for a mineral lick too. By this water, sneak up in here, make a mineral lick over here on the edge. They got water, everything. You run a camera in here. Every deer that ever walks this farm is going to run this flat at some point. And you'll really be able to tell what your inventory is. Because again, people got to remember, not every buck goes to a corn pile, not every buck goes to a feeder. Not every buck goes to a mineral lick. Sometimes they're shy of that kind of stuff. So you have a natural traveling bench mixed within all this bedding area with a water source. They're not afraid of water. So like if you run a camera and you hide it good and you're running it on that water, you're gonna get a picture. And sometimes that's all you need, is just one picture not letting you know that he's around. See, just like this, like these rubs in here and these grassy areas and, you know, spots like this, like you just look here, this is Bucky. And so like, you know, if you've got that food up there, you may decide you need to move in and hunt scrape patterns or whatever in between, not right on the food all the time. But certain times October, those cool fronts come in and those deer come into those clover plots, or, you know, whatever you've got planted, go into that green source, you can kill them early on the edge of food. Scrapes especially, like you got a scrape out there, just like I killed Ranger this year. Ranger was 212 15-inch deer. You put, you know, make some mock scrapes on the edges of those food sources. They start feeling frisky, you know, they're feeling dominant. They want to push those other bucks off their area and show their dominance. They're going to start hitting those scrapes around those food sources where all those other deer are going to. And that's what those big deer do. They push them other bucks off. They start showing themselves a little more. You get those right phases like that. You can't beat it. You watch your deer cast, look for that barometer, look for the cool fronts coming in. And especially if you get a rising moon in the evening, like a moon that's, you know, rising 2 hours before dark, them deer on their feet, cool front pattern, same thing, high pressure. You better be in a tree stand on a green food source like that, close to some bedding. So now we're gonna head up out of here. We're gonna walk up this steep ridge. We're gonna get into that other field, look at that. So you can just kind of get a feel of like how these deer bedding down in here, how that feels, you know, for them to leave bedding and to head up into those food sources. Let's get in my climber here. Let's get in there, boys. Let's get in the climber stand, boy. Let's get up there and hunt. They're safe. You got to start them out with a big tilt.
Yep, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Thing's growed in there like a... There's quite a bit of decent walnut on this flat, like decent size. You know, this is the biggest one by far and the best straight one. Just got a little bit of bow to it, but well, I think they'll just naturally, they're probably gonna do just like this trail. So we're figuring out Tyler's way out of shape. Just kidding. So like this farm, we were just talking, you know, me and Tyler, like, you know, like what kind of buyer does this suit? And, you know, we typically strive to meet the needs of like people that want to hunt big deer. That's kind of what we look for. It's what we target because that's what we do. Like, I'll just be straight with you. This is not a farm that a guy's gonna buy and you're buying it to ride quads on, or, you know, ride horses and have a family farm that you do a lot of recreational use on, because the way the farm's terrain is and the way it's set up, I don't think it lends itself to that. This is truly a farm that a guy buys that he wants to kill a big deer, and maybe 2 a year, like his son or, you know, brother, whatever. Like, this is a farm that you're literally buying it for the deer hunting, that recreational value, not so much, you know, a farm to like cut firewood on and have, you know, family or recreational outings on. This is set up to hold big deer. It will be set up even better for that. Like, the plan will be geared to that, but this terrain lends itself to holding a really big deer here, or a couple, each end of this farm. 2 guys could hunt this farm really easy on an evening on different food sources. So like, that's what this farm is about. We just wanted to be clear about that so you guys understood that we're not, you know, we're trying to make you understand what this farm is about, and that's what it's about.